The 900-page novel, Catholic Inc. and Catholic Internet Gatekeepers do not want you to read. They don't even want you to know this book exists. We'll talk about why that is very shortly. That, of course, is the entire point of this video. But before we get into that, three kind of housekeeping items. I wanted to extend a warm thanks to all the francophone listeners of this channel in Canada. Bonjour mes amis. Merci mille fois pour tous. Je suis tellement reconnaissant de votre soutien indéfectible de cette chaîne. I want to thank also the Hispanophone listeners in Nampa, Idaho. Especialmente Raúl y Armando Ponte las Pias, mis amigos. Todo el mundo sabe que Nampa, Idaho es mi ciudad preferida de todos los Estados Unidos. Gracias verdaderamente por todos mis amigos. And I'd be remiss too if I didn't thank the Polish community who has come across this channel and has had so many warm, nice things to say. Oczywiście jest bardzo blisko, to wszystko jest bardzo blisko mojego serca, jak mówiłem wielokrotnie. Ja wychowałem się, mimo to, że jestem Amerykaninem, wychowałem się w Pensylwanii, to w domu zawsze z rodziną język był polski. Po prostu oczywiście polska kultura w takim ogólnym sensie jest bardzo bliska mojego serca. Dziękuję Wam bardzo serdecznie za wszystko. Okay, so truly, the second thing that I want to talk about is just kind of giving a brief biography of myself as a writer. So the first two books that I had published in 2018 and 2020 respectively were the novels The Holdout, put out by Adelaide Books, and The Civil War History Catholic Confederates, put out by Kent State University Press. All the information, all this stuff, of course, is in the description below. But this second point of the biography of myself transitions into the third point, a continuation of the biography, but really talking about the wonderful, incredible Aruka Press, of which I've been in close collaboration with now for it's already getting on many years, actually now, a few years, 4 years or something like that. I am the author of 5 books. A 6th book, which will be coming out shortly this summer, God willing, is called Mark and Anna Models. And you can find all of those as they were given as live talks at the St. Augustine Center of Vandal Catholic this past year. It's a specific playlist on this channel. Both Mark and Anna, that 6th book, and books 3, 4, and 5, so 4 books total, have all been put out by Aruka Press in Toronto. And I just cannot speak highly enough of just everything about them. The first book they put out was the Hippo Lectures. Look how beautiful this cover is. I mean, just absolutely very, very well done. The kind of quintessential professional press. Alex Barbas, who is the CEO and the editor-in-chief, and a wonderful man, an incredible person, has spearheaded this effort. They've just done a really great job. Hippo Lectures was my 3rd book overall, the first book with them, and then a very thin volume, Seraphim and the Dust Plague, 88 pages, quick read. In fact, to my great joy, a lot of people that do know about my writing have enjoyed Seraphim and the Dust Plague a lot, and perhaps a lot of it too is because of its brevity. It's one of the books you can kind of read with a lemonade in hand, kind of hanging out in the hammock in summer. And as they've put out Hippo Lectures and Seraphim, and they're going to put out Mark and Anna, in August 2024, almost a year ago, they put out this 900-page novel, Thermonuclear Mirth, that Catholic Inc., Catholic Internet Gatekeepers, do not want you to read. They're scared of it. They misunderstand it. I can't speak for other people. I don't know why, but we'll get into why this is the case. So I made a video about 15 days ago, the end of April, that was this exact kind of theme. And I don't want to rehash everything that I said there because people that watched it, heard that. And I don't want to kind of step in the same river, not just twice, but 3 times now or that kind of thing. But I just thought, again, this is a pertinent, important topic that, that I need to raise, I need to kind of speak about. In that video, I basically said I gave 3 examples of people who are very, very interested in thermonuclear mirth. Let me start with that, right? If no one was interested in this book, I would not be making this video. Thousands, is it thousands of books that are published every single day? and they're completely unremarkable. I mean that in the actual definition. They are not remarked upon. Nobody cares. That's fine, right? The vast majority of stuff that I've done, absolutely nobody cares. That's life. Welcome to life. No problem. If this book was put out and nobody cared, I would not be making this video. But as I said in that previous video, I had three separate instances where people had reached out, basically said, I love your book, I'm very interested in your book, would you come on my channel, come on my program, my podcast, and talk about it? I, like all authors in the history of the world, was very happy about this, obviously, and said, of course I will, let's set it up. And then either they went full ghost town, kind of backed out, or kind of decided, never mind. And this has led me to say this seems to be the book that Catholic Inc., Catholic Internet gatekeepers do not want you to read. They're scared of it somehow or something. Because again, if it was not remarked upon, if no one had brought it to my attention in the first place, had never reached out and said, hey, we like the book, we're fascinated by it. You wrote a 900-page Catholic novel that deals with postmodern themes, but is faithful to the Catholic tradition. You wrote a 900-page novel that is not just kind of a fantasy and this kind of like knights and ladies. You wrote a book that perhaps is heir to the Walker Percy / Flannery Connor, Graham Greene throne of Catholic fiction. We haven't, been seeing a lot of serious Catholic fiction in a long time. You've done something like this. Well, that sounds interesting. We'd like to talk to you about it. And then they kind of, completely back out, or say they're going to, do an interview and then decide not to. And so, as I said in that previous video, you will never, ever, ever find on this channel me ever calling anybody out by name. I will not do that. I will not ever go on my channel and say, Mr. Blank Blank, Mrs. Blank Blank said blank. I will not do that. I do not believe in doing that. I am a Catholic, a practicing Catholic. God help me. It is a sin to engage in calumny and detraction, both to kind of like make up negative stories about people, or even if some stories are true. This is a problem, right? I think a lot of people try to avoid calumny, the kind of just like making up stuff, but there's a lot of detraction online. Detraction being things that are true, things that people did that is not good, but that I'm going to bring to light and kind of talk trash about them. So I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to name any names of who these people are or are not. But even since the last video, it's not even 3 people. It's probably 6 or 7 people. It's crazy, right? Makes me incredibly thrilled. I mean, I love this. I love the fact if there is something actually to this story in a deep sense, where Catholic influencer, middle grade, someone with like, a fair amount of subscribers or whatever, someone not super important but important enough, does the natural thing, and he's like, oh man, this book is sweet. I would love to do this. And maybe after it comes to light that he's going to do this interview, maybe more important kind of Catholic internet gatekeepers put in the kind of scolding schoolmarmish call. Don't you dare interview this guy. This is the last thing we need. Actually, I'm going to tell you right now, like if you're watching this video, I'd look around, make sure there are no Catholic internet gatekeepers watching you. They will not be happy. They will be extremely angry that you're even watching this video, and you're learning about thermonuclear mirth. They absolutely do not want that. They would like you just to, when it comes to reading Catholic books, read the last Catholic self-help book, the 7 steps to blah blah blah. And after you get bored with that, which probably, to get bored with stuff like that probably takes 10 seconds, they would just like you to read C.S. Lewis, G.K. Chesterton, stuff like that. Just read Chesterton. It doesn't matter the fact that Everlasting Man was published 100 years ago. It doesn't matter that Orthodoxy was published 117 years ago in 1908. Just read Chesterton and forget anything has ever happened in the world since then. Just read those Catholic books. Don't worry about new Catholic authors. They're bad. They're bad. So really, if you want to pause the video and just kind of like look all around, look up and down, see if any of these Catholic gatekeepers are there observing you. It might be a good idea to do that before I continue with this video. I mentioned in the previous one, I am not anti-G.K. Chesterton. I love G.K. Chesterton. When I had my first book, The Holdout, came out in 2018, someone who's fairly well known in the Catholic world wrote a very nice review about it. I'm very grateful to him. and the review is titled "Another GK," right? Haha, right? Because it's like he saw something perhaps Chestertonian in The Holdout, and of course Gilbert Keith Chesterton and Gracjan Kraszewski, GK, right? I was very honored. I was so honored to be compared, even in this kind of like funny way, to GK Chesterton. In 2012, when I was 25 years old, I read all of Chesterton's books, or at least as many as I can get my hands on. I think the final tally was 11 or 12. And I'm not talking about the most popular ones, like the Father Brown series, things like that. Yes, the most popular ones like Orthodoxy and Everlasting Man, but some of his lesser well-known ones too. Heretics, for example, which I think is a book that it's very difficult to even kind of find in print. Now, I am not anti-Chesterton. I am very pro-Chesterton. I love Chesterton. C.S. Lewis, although he's not a Catholic, wonderful, amazing. Until We Have Faces. His commentary on the Psalms is incredible. The Narnia series, of course, is beautiful. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, great. The whole clarion call, the whole thing that I did last video was saying, but we can't just keep doing that, guys. We can't just pretend nothing has happened in the world in the past 100 years and just read Chesterton and Lewis and Tolkien and say, yep, that's Catholic literature. We don't have to, do serious Catholic books. It doesn't matter. This guy wrote this 900-page thing that commentators and stuff, different commentators on previous channels, previous videos that I've done have said that it kind of reads like a film. Thank you guys, those of you that have posted that. That's a beautiful kind of image, and I kind of agree with that. It doesn't matter. This book seems to be very exciting. It's orthodox. It not only does not undermine the Catholic faith, it supports it. It seems to be very much John Paul II's new evangelization. Use the tools of now to preach the timeless truths. That doesn't matter. You guys should just watch this podcast where they're going to have this guest on who's like every other guest, and he or she's going to tell their faith testimony and blah 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 blah. I'm already asleep. I'm already bored. I'm already the grandpa, conked out in his chair. He's already asleep. We can't just keep doing the same things and then wondering, well, why is the culture not more interested in Catholicism? We have a wonderful opportunity now, right? First American Pope, Leo XIV. I will personally admit, I'm not just excited about him because I am a Catholic and he's the Vicar of Christ and amen to all those things. I'm excited in general. I think he seems awesome. And just exactly perhaps what the doctor ordered and what the church needs. We need to be doing new stuff in Catholic art, Catholic literature as well. And so I invite you to decide for yourselves. Don't listen to the Catholic internet gatekeepers who want to keep you simply reading the latest Catholic self-help book, and they want to pat you on the head and give you a nice warm plate of cookies and milk and tell you to go sit in the corner and read Chesterton until you fall asleep. Don't listen to those people. Take a chance on new work, new, bold, interesting work. What is Thermonuclear Mirth about, you may ask? It's set in the year 2100. I'll actually read to you. Actually, I'm you know what? Seriously. Props to Alex. Props to Aruka Press. The guys who do such a beautiful job. Look how beautiful this book is. This is a beautiful book. It's actually extremely heavy too. I had to do extra push-ups before making this video just to hold this book in place. It's a very, very beautiful book, beautiful cover. I'm just going to read to you the back dust jacket, just a kind of like quick synopsis, okay? Because I think it's the best kind of advert I can do, as simply this book has made that clear in its marketing of the material. So instead of just giving you kind of a more rambling answer, here's what the book's about, and I'll leave you with that. America, circa 2100. 53 states, maxed out consumerism and hedonism, and a presidential candidate part Hollywood glamour, part tech wizard, who promises to fix all the problems. Set against this platform of dystopic utopianism, if not outright antichrist-like, bred into stone's earthly messianism, is the Franklin family, led by Patriarch Increase, who in the not-too-distant past led a revolt against the government that created the first intra-American nation since the 1860s. This experiment soon failed, passions cooled, the rebels were pardoned, normalcy set in. Thus begins Thermonuclear Mirth. In a recognizable, normal America, with Increase's son, Ben, the protagonist of the story, setting out to study dog poetry at the absurdist think tank college East Southwestern, South Northeastern, West North American University of the Arts and Logic, abbreviated SWAL. Founded by Vietnamese polymath and Great War veteran Carl Schliemann in the 1940s. Located in the far reaches of the New Mexican desert, Schliemann, he already then distressed by the consumerism and hedonism of his time, founded SWAL as a societal antidote. A school so absurd, with final project products more so, that maybe only this, the American consumer finally dumbfounded by his insatiable purchasing of items progressively more vapid and useless, could make the scales fall from his eyes, an awakening commence, a renaissance begin. Ben graduates from SWAL and sets out on a verifiable odyssey of job seeking under the guidance of his atheistic, bombastic, profane, and impossibly handsome job coach Hans, as they globetrot from New Mexico to Mississippi to Boise to Europe and back. All the while, and purposely put into a parallel narrative in the footnotes, the wannabe president constructs his evil schemes. After 900 pages of a journey equal parts theological, philosophical, comedic, tragic, maximal, and absurd, disparate roads converge back in New Mexico, back with the Franklin family, back at SWAL, with the revelation of Schliemann's actual reason for founding the school, his connection to the Franklins, the threat of an AI-induced apocalyptic holocaust, and a Catholic prelate, the Archbishop of the coastal Mountain West. He simultaneously his serene nuclear highness, possessing a singular button and a lonely but perhaps necessary choice, one nonetheless that contains within it the possibility of eliminating all future possibilities.